Alright guys, Legendboy here to play some more Ratchet and Clank 2. This is the first of, I'm pretty sure it'll be 2 cleanup videos, it might be 3 depending on how I do this. But basically this is going to be the whole getting all the remaining titanium bolts and skill points video. I'm not playing at the moment, I'm just watching the editing that I've done, put all the things in order. Just as with the Ratchet and Clank 1 LP, this is going to be split theoretically at this point into 2 parts, but it might be split into 3 as I said. This is the first 15 skill points and the titanium bolts, platinum bolts, I beg your pardon, that I've missed on those respective planets. The second video will be the remaining 15 skill points. There are 3 skill points, however, that don't have a planet, that aren't attached to a certain planet, and I might get those after I've beaten the boss. Or show that I've gotten those after beating the boss. I won't actually go back and get them, because it's pointless. The 3 skill points are Nano to the max, which requires me to get 80 nanotech pieces. I have, looks like about 50, 51? No, yeah, 51. And you get the skill point nano to the max by getting all 80. 4 of them, of course, you start off with. 10 of them you find with the nanotech boosts in the game, which I've found all of them at this point. And the other 66 you get by experience. So it would be a matter of me just going around killing enemies for the sake of it to get the other pieces of nanotech, which is just pointless to me. I don't know why you want to watch me grinding in this particular game when you could simply watch me play a different game, which would be more entertaining. Or even me just going back and doing it without recording it seems pointless, when I could simply load up my actual game save where I've actually gotten these skill points and just show you the 80 nanotech things. The second one is Nice Ride, which is buying all the components for your ship, all the weapons components. You don't have to buy all the decorative ones. You don't have to buy like the wings and the nose scoops and the paint jobs. You just got to buy all the missiles, the torpedoes, the nuclear thing, and the speed boost, that kind of stuff, and the shields. That's all you got to buy. That would require me to go back and boost 4 raritanium, which also seems pointless. Because again, I've already got these things in another game save, so what's the point? Do you really need to see me going through the menu and buying them? Like, what's the point? The third one is Weapon Envy, which is getting all the weapons except for the Clank Zapper. You don't have to buy that one, which is good because it's a useless piece of shit. And you have to upgrade them all to gold, which is the upgrade version in normal regular mode when you get the experience bar all the way to the top. In challenge mode, if you have a gold weapon and you buy the yellow version, that's the mega version, and I think if you upgrade it again with the mega version, then you have the omega version. I think that's how it works. I might be taking that from Ratchet Clank 3, I'm not sure. But the gold version is the version that you upgrade it to when you get the first experience bar all the way to the top. Again, that would require me just to go around grinding, and I don't see the point in that. It doesn't seem worth my time to do that when I've already got a game save that has all the weapons upgraded. Some of them do have new features when you get to gold, like the Mega Rocket Launcher has the fact that you can charge it up and fire 4 rockets at once, and the Black Sheepinator transmogrifies into sheep that explode. There are some new features that you get with gold weapons, but I can show you those in a new game save. Rather than simply going around and upgrading them. It just doesn't seem like it's worth my time. All the other skill points though I will be getting in this. Also with Weapon Envy, it also requires you to buy all the weapon upgrades from Slim Cognito, but that requires all the platinum bolt, platinum. I keep getting that mixed up, I swear to God. That requires you to get all the platinum bolts, and I have all the platinum bolts. Except for one, which is on planet Veldon. No, fucking hell! Yeedle! They both start with a letter that kind of has 2 points at the top that kind of diverge. Or if you're reading the letter down, they converge. And they have 6 letters, so don't blame me. It's the alphabet. Blame the alphabet. Yeah, Yeedle. There's 1 on Yeedle. There are no skill points on Yeedle. There's just a platinum bolt. You have to grind along a rail right at the end. I'm fearing that one, to be honest. Like, I know I've said at this point a few times on certain levels, oh, this is going to be hard. But Yeedle is like a legitimately difficult level for me, even without the extra challenge of having no armor, and the other challenge of not being able to use weapons that aren't upgraded. Not being able to use weapons that are upgraded. So that's going to be really, really tricky. I might ditch the whole weapons one. I won't buy armor. I've done it without armor before, but doing it without weapons, that's a whole other story.
To aim weapons more accurately.
I might be a little either liberal with it, in that I don't go back to Megacorp to buy more ammo for those weapons I haven't upgraded yet. Because at this point, I think the only weapons that really don't have much experience left, or that aren't upgraded, I think, the Sheepinator, the Plasma Coil, the Hover Bomb Gun, the Killanoids, the Spiderbot Glove. The Plasma Coil is pretty useful, but it's nearing the end. It's fucking real close, and you'll probably see that when I pull up the quick select. You'll see how close it is. And the Sheepinator isn't very useful. The Hover Bomb only has 10 ammo and is very, very slow. The Spiderbot Glove means I have to remain vulnerable to fire. It's not very useful. And the Killanoids aren't very powerful. So it'll be a real challenge for me to do. The Protopet, I've got no clue. I'm gonna do that without the weapons. We'll see when we get there, I guess. Because again, that one will be legitimately difficult. That boss fight isn't hard with like the challenge that it gives you, as long as it's difficult because it just keeps going and going and going, and he just has a fuck ton of health. Yeah, it'll be tricky. So, but yeah, we're nearing the end of this LP, and that means I'm gonna have to decide what new game I want to do. I've brought up a few games in the past. Ratchet Deadlocked I've mentioned several times. Ratchet and Clank 3 you would think would be the next one in the series, but I'm just not feeling Ratchet and Clank at the moment being the next LP. I think I want to do something different. Just for a little bit of variation. Differing from a traditional Ratchet and Clank game. I would be fine with playing Ratchet Gladiator if they had the HD version out. I don't want to go back to standard def, seeing as they've announced the HD version. If they had not announced the HD version, I'd just be going, fuck it, I'll play it on the PS2. But if they're going to release a HD version, I might as well just give you the HD video and keep the HD tradition going, because I've actually been watching videos in HD lately, and it is quite cool. Because I didn't before because it would stream really slowly, and it'd load at the same rate that the standard def videos do, and the standard def videos have a bitrate of about 500k, 500 kilobits per second, so they'd stream at about the same rate that they play at. HD videos have a bitrate of about 2000k, about 2 megabits per second, and they would, so for every second of video it'd take 4 seconds for it to buffer, so it'd be like, what's the fucking point? But now, either my net connection's improved, or YouTube's streaming ability has improved. I'd say it's the latter. And they kind of stream not quite 100% at the rate they play at. It's still a little bit slower. I could probably blame that on the internet. But they actually stream at a decent rate now, so I can watch things in HD, and it is quite cool. I don't want to get myself accustomed to that luxury, because I don't like indulging myself when I don't have to. Regardless, yeah, I would rather give you the HD video than the standard def version. If the HD version ends up getting cancelled by Idle Minds, then I'll happily do the standard def version, but for now, I'll wait. Ratchet and Clank 3, I'm just not feeling it. I don't want to do the same game again. I don't know, I'm just, you know. Maybe you guys really super duper want me to do it, I don't know, but I'm just not feeling that at the moment. And I think we can both agree, because there's only one other person watching this, we can all agree that it would be silly for me to do a game that I don't want to do. That would be silly, because I wouldn't enjoy it. So yeah, Ratchet Gladiator or Ratchet Deadlocked, depending on where you live, is kind of what I want to do, but I can't do at the moment. I mentioned a few other ones back when I nearly finished the Ratchet and Clank 1 LP. I mentioned Grand Theft Auto 3, which I wanted to do. I'm still thinking that's way too similar to GTA 4 and the events I upload with that. It's also a very long game, and I don't know, I think I'd be saving that one for later. I'd be planning that one out and doing it as efficiently as possible. Not necessarily a speed run, just planning it out so it doesn't take fucking forever. Because it wouldn't be like one mission per video. Maybe one character per video, one character's missions per video. But anyone who's played any GTA game knows it's a way longer game than this is. Just by its nature as an open world sandbox kind of game. Damn, this fucking gunk in my throat. It's still fucking here, man. My ear's still messed up. Like, it seems to be going like on and off, this fucking ear thing. And it'll like one day I'll wake up and my ear will be fine. Then the next day I'll wake up and it'll sound like a wind tunnel again. It'll be all echoey and picking up bass way more than it should be. And I just don't understand it. And sometimes some days it's worse than others, but only recently has it been happening day after day after day. I remember the first time it happened, I was like at work and some woman called me on the phone. She wasn't angry, but the phone was way louder than it should have been, and than I thought it would have been. I think I moved to a different desk, and like the phone must have had like a fucking, must have been on like deaf mode or something, because it was super duper loud. And the woman just spoke into the phone, like she must have coughed or just made some sudden noise that wasn't probably loud on her end, but to me it just like it was super loud, and it like made my right ear ring, and it was just like ooh. And from that day forward, like the day after that was the first time I got this, and then every couple of months after that, I've had this stupid ear thing for a couple of days, but it's only happened every couple of months. Now it's happening like every second day, and it's getting fucking irritating. It's getting super duper annoying, and I just wish it would go away for good. And I can't tell if it's due to me listening to loud noises, or if it's due to the congestion that I still have, because I've still got congestion in my throat, I've still got congestion in my nose, and that probably means I've still got congestion in my ear, and I wouldn't be surprised if the fact that my left ear is being blocked, which it very well could be, is the reason why my right ear is being either perforated or swollen. It's healing extremely quickly if it's being perforated several times a week. That is insane, right? That sounds so impossible to believe. So I'd be going more with swollen, which would explain why it heals quicker, because it kind of, I guess, contracts again, which makes more sense to me. But either way, I don't know what it is, but I want it to fucking go away. Because I mean, if I go on stage with this, it'll be harder for me to hear what I'm saying, and it will be harder for me to hear what how the audience is reacting. If some asshole yells something out to me, I won't be able to react to it. What's going on? Fucking video is kind of jumpy there. It won't be jumpy for you because I'm playing it back live through the Vegas preview window. But man, I just wish it would go away. It really is getting to me. It's really annoying. And the worst part of it is I can't listen to music. Because I'm thinking, because it's triggered, it seems to be triggered by loud noises. Not sudden loud noises, just exposure to loud noises over a long period of time. So if I listen to my headphones, I really only should do that for like half an hour at a time. Any longer than that, and I risk having this thing again for another couple of days, it seems. As well as, and I don't turn my speakers up that loud. I really don't. My speakers aren't up very loud. My headphones I do tend to have like loud, but not super loud. I don't have them blasting, like I don't make my ears hurt. Yeah, that'd be super annoying if I've damaged my hearing with that. But yeah, like this, like I've listened to loud music for a very long time, and only recently has this started to happen. So what the fuck's the deal, you know? Just with this skill point, very, very quickly. I've written it in subtitles, but I'll explain verbally. You'll see me get the skill point after crushing only one robot. That's because just before I did this recording, I tried to record like take one for this skill point was me going in and smashing the robots with the box, but I never seemed to get the skill point. I must have smashed 9 of them, and it just didn't give me the skill point. I'm like, what the fuck? Something must be wrong. So I pressed stop on the recording, reloaded the game, started the recording again over the same recording file that I just did. So I deleted the first take and just did the second take over the top of the first take, and then I got it in the first go. So basically, if you're trying to get that skill point and you haven't got it yet, just reload the game and smash more robots, because it seems to keep track. Back onto what games I want to do next. So yeah, as I said, Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked is kind of on there. Ratchet and Clank 3, not so much. Grand Theft Auto 3 is too much like Grand Theft Auto 4, so probably not. Vice City and San Andreas are even bigger than those, so forget them. A few of the Crash Bandicoot games also came to mind. The actual platformers themselves would be pretty cool, because they're similar to Ratchet and Clank in that they're platformers, and Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2 I'm not that familiar with. I've beaten both of them 100%. I've beaten Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like the Ratchet Codex and the PS2. I've beaten all 4 of them 100%, gotten everything, gotten every platinum relic, every gem, every whatever the fuck. But the only one I've beaten more than once, 100%, is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Because that's the only one I owned as a kid. The other ones... I owned the Ratchet Codex as a kid, but I never beaten it 100% until now. Gotten all the platinum relics and stuff. And... I don't know, I just don't think my knowledge of those games is sufficient enough for me to do an LP on them. Because I'm very reluctant to do an LP on a game I'm even kind of unfamiliar with, let alone a blind one where I've never played the game before. Do not expect me to do an LP of a game I've never played. I will not do it. I'll happily play the games if you suggest them, but I won't do an LP of them because I've never played it. Like, some guy suggested Sly. I'm like, I've never fucking played Sly, so why would I do that? Donkey Kong... Oh, no, Crash Bandicoot games. So yeah, the original trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, and Ratchet Codex. I wouldn't do any of those, except for Warped, maybe, but I doubt it. Because the platinum relics in that game are very hard to get. I remember one of them on one of the jet ski levels, one of the bonus ones, was a right pain in the ass. And was just an absolute bastard of a level. And it took me at least 100 tries to get the platinum for that. What's ridiculous is, in the NTSC version, it gives you the platinum automatically, no matter what time you get in the time trial. Either that, or the time is so generous that you don't even need any of the boxes. But on the PAL... yeah... I'm confused by that. So either the NTSC version or the PAL version, one of them has a thing where it doesn't... I actually think it is the NTSC version. Yeah. That lets you basically have the platinum relic no matter what time you get, because it's so difficult to get on whatever other version has this ridiculously short time. So yeah, the time trials in that game are a lot of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, so I wouldn't do that game. Probably not. Crash Team Racing I thought about. A kart racing game I would avoid because it's repetitive, in that there are only 16 tracks, but you have to do them several times. Over and over again, just to beat the game 100%. That's another thing. I'd rather beat the game 100% and just complete it in its entirety than leave things, because I just want to get it all done. That's just how I want to do it. Crash Team Racing, if I can calculate this here, each track you'd have to beat at least 4 times, I think. Because you got to beat it once for the trophy, another time for the CTR token, which is basically winning the race while collecting the letters C, T, and R, which are scattered across the track. You got to get all those letters and come first. A third time for the relic, and that's assuming I get the platinum relic on the first try, which is unlikely. And fourth for the not the time trial, the gem cups, which are at the end, which you unlock by getting all the CTR tokens of a certain color. That's 4 races per track. There are 16 tracks which you have to do 4 times. There are 2 tracks which you have to do time trials for once each. So that's 16 times 4, which is 64. That's 66 races with only 16 tracks. That seems pointless to me. So yeah, I wouldn't do that game. Crash Bash is ridiculously hard. Anyone who's played it knows how ridiculously insane the difficulty is. Having to win things like for the relics in that game, you have to win the round. You have to win like 2 to 3 rounds of a certain game in a row 2 rounds in a row for the gold relics and 3 rounds in a row for the platinum relics. And the AI is relentless in that game. Anyone who's played it knows exactly what I'm talking about. The AI in that game is absolutely flawless, and they do not let up. I have never beaten that game 201% or 200%. You can beat the game 200% if you get everything. I've beaten it about 140 something percent, but I can't get any further than that, so don't expect that game either. Mario Kart 64 I thought about, but that has the same problem as what's its face? Crash Team Racing and other kart racing games, and then it's kind of repetitive. I would not go through and do 50cc, 100cc, 150cc. What the fuck's the point of that? There's like no difference between those at all except the speed of the kart. And if I was to do just 150cc or even just reverse cc, or reverse 150cc, it'd just be fucking 4 episodes, so what's the point? Yeah, I don't see the point in that, really. Diddy Kong Racing, I thought about, because I got that recently. That has the same problem. In that game, you have to do each race 5 times. 10 times if you want to get technical, because 1 race for the first balloon, the second race you got to, much like the CTR token, you got to drive around and get 8 silver coins, and then win the race, to make it more challenging. Third time, you've got to do a trophy race, much like the Gem Cup in CTR. Fourth time, you've got to do a time trial to unlock a certain character called TT, who you have to race against in the 5th race that you do. Because you've got to do 1 race to unlock TT, and then in another race right after that, you've got to beat him. So, once you unlock him, you can take as many tries as you want to beat him. You don't have to do that in succession. But yeah, you're going to unlock TT by getting a certain time on a certain track in time trial mode, and then you've got to do time trial mode and do it even faster to beat TT, who's like a ghost on the track, and you've got to beat his ghost. So that's 5 races per thing. Per track, and there are 16 tracks. No, there are 20 tracks, actually. There are 20 tracks in that one. So 5 times 20 is 100. There is a second version of the adventure called Adventure 2, where all the tracks are reversed, and you have to do the exact same thing in those ones, on those tracks, to beat the game completely. So you effectively have to do each track 10 times. That's 200 fucking races. That's not worth it at all, right? That is just a complete waste of my time, and just no. I'm not saying the game's shit, I'm just saying I would not do that for an LP, and if I did, I would not do mirrored tracks. Just, oh, it's just poor form from Rare, I have to say. God damn, I hate that when they mirror tracks and just expect that to be a whole new game. It's bullshit. What else was I thinking of? Speaking of Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Donkey Kong 64 was another one I thought of, but that game's very, very long. I might LP that one day. It is a game I really want to LP, because it's super nostalgic for me. The commentary on that would be all about how I was playing it during my childhood, and I love that game. It's a collectathon, but it's one of those games where I'd be willing to put that aside because I just love the game that much. It is a really fun game for me because of the memories it brings back. So that game I might LP at some stage. What else? Donkey Kong Country. Now we're getting on to what I'll probably be LPing in the future. Now, Donkey Kong Country 1, I'm not all that familiar with. I've played it and I've beaten it 100%, but only with like walkthroughs and stuff. Donkey Kong Country 3 is a really fun game, and I might LP that at some stage too, but the one I really want to LP is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Because I went through that and played that recently and just had a lot of fun playing it, and the first time through I was amazed by how fun that game was. It's a Super Nintendo game, I'll be playing it on an emulator, but it's a really fun game and I had a blast playing it. So, and because I memorize where all the bonus areas are and I can get 102% fairly easily. But another thing with this game, it's doing this again. I'm having like errors with Vegas where sometimes it doesn't pick up a certain video file, And it picks up the audio because I can hear the audio right now. I can hear myself going through the menus. So click, 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 click. I can hear that. It should come up for you. Oh, now it's there for no fucking apparent reason. But yeah, sometimes it seems to be blacking out and not picking up the video feed at certain points on the track, and sometimes it picks it up later than usual, and sometimes it doesn't pick it up at all, and it happens sometimes during encoding. Because, like, I'm watching the video playback right now, so technically it's live encoding. It's encoding as I'm watching it. And sometimes it happens when I'm encoding the video, like, to finalize it to upload to YouTube, so I have to check the video, and it always happens with these videos, because I've got a whole bunch of clips here. The recordings I do for the LP are usually just one clip. One unedited clip, unless I, like, cut something out. But it'd be the same clip, it'd just be with a little bit cut out. The clips here, these are all different recording, all different video files. And when you got lots of video files, it seems to have trouble with picking them all up, and that could prove a real problem when encoding things that have lots of different video files in them. So hopefully that won't happen when I encode this. If it does, I'll just have to re-encode it. But yeah, it is annoying. As I was saying, Donkey Kong Country 2 is a game I really want to LP, and not only do I know where everything is, but I can give myself the challenge of doing it without the DK barrels. For those of you who haven't played Donkey Kong Country, you play as two apes in the game. In Donkey Kong Country 1, you play as Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. In the sequel, you play as Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, who's Diddy Kong's girlfriend. And in the third one, you play as Dixie Kong and Chunky? No, not Chunky. Kiddy Kong, who's someone's nephew or something. Diddy Kong's nephew or Dixie Kong's nephew or something like that. You have two characters that you play as, and they have abilities. I forget what they are in the first Donkey Kong Country. I think one of them can jump higher and the other one can run faster. I think Donkey Kong can jump higher and Diddy Kong can run faster, which helps you access certain areas depending on what abilities you need. In Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy runs faster and jumps higher, I think, and Dixie Kong has like a ponytail chopper move, like a roto ponytail, so she can like glide, which is very useful. Almost breaks the game. And in the third one, Dixie still has the rotocopter, and Kiddy has this like slam move, so he's the one who like Dixie can't throw Kiddy up, but Kiddy can throw Dixie up. In the second one, they introduced this thing where you can pick the other character up and throw them. In the second one, doesn't matter which character picks the other one up, they can throw them at an equal height. But because Kiddy Kong is so fat in the third one, Dixie can't throw Kiddy up very high, but Kiddy can throw Dixie up really high. So yeah, that's his ability. And he can and also if Dixie throws Kiddy at the ground, where there's like a crack in the ground, he breaks the ground. So that's his ability. I don't know why I explained that, because it's got nothing to do with what the fuck I want to talk about. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is there are two monkeys in each game, two apes, and you start off in each level with one ape by default. If you finish a level with two apes and you start a new level, you'll have two apes. But when you start the game, like at the very, very, very beginning, you have only one ape. You find these barrels called DK barrels to free the ape you don't currently control, and you press a certain button to switch between the Kongs if you have both of them. If you get hit by an enemy or by an obstacle while you're playing the game, whichever Kong you are controlling dies and leaves the screen. They run away, leaving you with the other Kong that you weren't controlling. If you fall in a pit, that's instant death either way. And if you fall in a pit and you have both Kongs and you keep both Kongs when you respawn, or when you go back into the level after pressing A or whatever, when you go back to the overworld. If you remove the DK barrels, that means you can get hit a lot less frequently. And in DKC2, there is a code you can put in at the main menu, in like a special little cheats menu thing that you can find, to remove all the DK barrels from the game. And I recently beat the game using that code, and I used no save states, nothing you could not do on the original SNES. The only advantage I believe I have is using a more ergonomic controller. The PS3 controller is a lot more ergonomic than the SNES controller. I've got a friend who has like a broken SNES, and holding those controllers is a lot less comfortable. Not too much less comfortable, but still not as comfortable as the PS3 controller, which is designed to fit in your hands. Unlike the SNES controller, which is flat. Doesn't have any handles. So I imagine it to be harder on an actual console. But yeah, the point is that I've beaten the game with this harder code thing. You don't get like an extra percentage in DKC2 for doing that. It's just like a pride achievement thing that you do for yourself. But I have done it. So I think I have the skill to get through that game pretty well without, you know, dying all the time and things. A few of the later levels get really hard, and like there's one level right at the end called Animal Antics, because there are animal buddies in the game that you can ride, and sometimes you become the animals. If you find like a rectangular box and you're playing as the Kongs, you jump on that box and the animal comes out and you ride them, or they carry you. If it's Squawks the parrot, they carry you around. Or if it's like a round barrel that you find, you jump into that barrel and you become the animal. In the level called Animal Antics, which is right at the end, you become all 5 of the animals at certain parts during the level, and you never actually play as the Kongs themselves. And there are 5 animals that you play as. There's Rambi the rhino, there's On Guard the swordfish, Squitter the spider, Squitter the spider, Squawks the parrot, and Rattly the snake. And you play as all 5 of them in that order in the level, in all different environments. You have to get through that level in one life. There are checkpoints in these levels, so if you die once you get past the checkpoint, you will respawn. But you have to get basically from the midpoint of the level to the end in one go. And I won't spoil it for you. If you want to look it up, you can. But getting through the second half of that level without getting hit once is fucking insane. It's fucking crazy. I don't know how I did it. It took me at least 20 tries. At least 20 or 30, but I fucking got there. It was rage-inducing. It was insane. Oh my god. But I did it. That's the thing I'm trying to say. That I did it, and I think I had the skill to get through that game and get all the bonuses and things. Without too many retakes. And to display a certain amount of skill. Because not that the LP is all about skill. I think the commentary takes precedent. But I think if I'm going to be giving you gameplay as well as commentary, I might as well be giving you good gameplay that I'm demonstrating skill. So, not that I'm super duper skilled at it, but I think I'm skilled enough to sort of show off a little bit and go, hey, look what I can do here. I can do the level with this special code. It's harder in DKC3, because in DKC3, not only do they remove the DK barrels, they also remove the checkpoint barrels. So you have to get from one point in the level to the other, only getting hit once. You get hit any more than once, that's it. It's back to the beginning for you. Although I have found, I can't remember if this is how the way it is in DKC3 because I haven't played that. But in DKC2, if you have like one ape and you have this codon where there are no DK barrels, you start off levels with 2 apes for a start, no matter how many apes you have at the end of the last level. You start off with 2 apes every time, and if you exit a bonus barrel, again, no matter how many apes you have, or you actually start off bonus barrels with both apes, because some of them you need both apes, and there are DK barrels in the bonus areas to give you both apes. Because they took them out, they have to give you the ape. So in some ways, it actually is a little easier, but in most ways it's more difficult because you have to avoid getting hit a lot more. So yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, DKC3 you don't have any checkpoints either. I'm not sure if you start off bonus areas and respawn in bonus areas, or respawn out of bonus areas, I beg your pardon, with both apes. But either way, without checkpoints, it's a fuckload more hard. But again, I've done that one too, and you get an extra 2% for doing that, to 103% total completion without the code, and 105% if you manage to do it without checkpoints. Challenging, but still fun, so I might even do DKC3 after this. I'm really gunning for Deadlocked though. I am so fucking just, I want to play Deadlocked so much. I just want to do it. I'm just so fucking pumped for that combat and the challenges. I remember one challenge, like right at the end, I was thinking about challenges that I remember doing as a kid, and there's one challenge right at the end in the arena on the I don't know what you call it, like the pod world, the home world kind of thing, like your default world in the arena, where you basically have to you're in this
one's for my
shrinking arena. Every round that you go through, the arena shrinks. Like there's these electric things around the arena, these big electric walls, and if you jump into them, you lose health. And the arena shrinks in that those walls kind of close in on you as the rounds progress. I think it's like a 99 round challenge. It's a very long challenge. And the sleeping gas in the arena. So you're losing health as you fight regardless. And there's nanotech boxes that keep coming up, so you get your health back. But I can't remember how the health works, but I think it's either, I don't know if this is from Ratchet and Clank 3 or if it's from this, or if it's from Deadlocked. I can't remember specifically, but I remember in one of the games with sleeping gas, basically how it works is if you, the sleeping gas doesn't affect your maximum health. But say say your health is taken down by like 2 points every 5 seconds, and say I have 100 nanotech, and I'm getting hit by this sleeping gas. So let's say I'm down to 90 nanotech out of 100. I've been hit for 25 seconds, and I've lost 10 nanotech. I'm down to 90 out of 100. Let's say I then get hit by an enemy who takes off another 10. Let's say I get hit by an enemy that takes off 15. So I'm down to 75 nanotech. 10 from the sleeping gas and 15 from the enemy. I think the way it works in one of those games is that if you get hit by an enemy, that lowers the maximum amount of nanotech you can actually replenish with the nanotech boxes that come up in the arena. So, because 15 health was taken off me by that enemy, I would no longer be able to recharge my nanotech above anything above 85. My maximum nanotech from that point on would be 85, no matter how many nanotech things I got. I can't remember if that's the way it is, but I just have memories of that. Either way, it's a very hard challenge, and the arena gets so small by the end. You know, and I think Deadlocked was one of those games where it doesn't really matter how much nanotech you have. The enemies don't take off nanotech points specifically. They don't take off like a set amount of nanotech. They take off a percentage or a fraction of your nanotech. So it's like, what's the point in upgrading the nanotech if they just take off a fraction of it anyway? Because it's going to take the same amount of hits to kill you, no matter how much nanotech you have. Even if you have 999, you can get 999 nanotech points in that game. You can get you can get 8 in the first game, 80 in this game, 200 in Ratchet and Clank 3, 999 in Deadlocked, but for whatever reason it's still percentage-based hit points and not actual integer-based or set damage-based. It's silly. I don't know why they did that. You lose like hundreds of points from certain hits. It's fucking dumb. Another thing with Deadlocked is that there's a difficulty that you unlock once you beat the game called Exterminator. There are like 5 it's the first Ratchet and Clank game with difficulties. And there are 4 difficulties that you unlock at the beginning that are unlocked by default. I can't remember what they're called, but it's like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. You unlock 5 stars Exterminator once you beat the game once. So what you can do is you can start new games on Exterminator once you've unlocked it, if you want to. So yeah, going through the whole game in Exterminator mode at the beginning when you don't have those really powerful weapons is actually pretty tricky, even on the training screen. I remember failing a few times the first time I tried to play Exterminator, just starting off. It was crazy. So yeah, those are the games I'm thinking about playing. So Ratchet Deadlocked and Donkey Kong Country 2 and perhaps even Donkey Kong Country 3 are the main culprits or the main suspected games at this point. Those are the ones I want to play. So those are your options. Don't suggest other games because I don't want to be rude, but I seriously think this is the only game I'm in the mood to play at the moment for you guys. Ratchet and Clank 3 might come up as the LP after the next one, maybe, but it depends. So leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I shall catch you guys later.